Have you ever walked along a quiet pond or a slow-moving river and felt like you were being watched? You probably were. Lurking just beneath the surface, there's an animal that looks like it came straight out of the age of dinosaurs. I'm talking about the snapping turtle, a true survivor and one of North America's most misunderstood creatures. These turtles have a reputation for being cranky, aggressive, and having a bite you have to see to believe. People tell stories about them snapping broom handles in half, and while some of that is myth, their power is very, very real. They are incredible animals that command respect, and their story is so much more interesting than just their fearsome reputation. When people think of turtles, they often picture the friendly little box turtle that pulls its head and legs into its shell, safe and sound. But snapping turtles are a whole different kind of animal. They are the heavyweights of the freshwater world, ancient warriors that have been around for millions of years, long before humans walked the earth. Their prehistoric look, with their powerful jaws, long tails, and rugged shells, makes them seem like creatures from another time. This ancient appearance is a big part of why people are so fascinated, and yeah, a little scared of them. They are a living link to a wilder, more primitive past that still exists in our backyards. The stories you hear create a picture of a monster, but the truth is far more complex and amazing. These turtles aren't lurking in the water waiting to attack people. They are simply trying to live their lives the way they have for eons, using the incredible tools nature gave them to survive in a tough world. Their powerful snap is a key part of that survival story. But it's not what you might think. It's not born out of meanness or a bad temper. Instead, it comes from a place of vulnerability and the deep instinctual need to protect themselves from danger when they feel threatened, especially when they are out of their watery home where they feel safest. Understanding these incredible animals means looking past the scary stories and seeing the real turtle underneath. It means learning about their biology, their behavior, and their important place in the environment. When we take the time to do that, we discover a creature that is perfectly adapted to its world, a master of camouflage, and a crucial part of the ecosystem. The next time you see a snapping turtle, I want you to feel a sense of awe, not fear. These turtles are a sign of a healthy, thriving aquatic environment, and they deserve our admiration and our protection for the amazing survivors they truly are. When we talk about snapping turtles, we're usually talking about two different but equally incredible species. First, there's the common snapping turtle. These guys are widespread, and you can find them all over North America, from the Rocky Mountains all the way to the Atlantic coast, and from southern Canada down to Florida. They are expert survivors and can live in almost any freshwater habitat, like ponds, lakes, streams, and marshes. A big adult common snapper can have a shell over a foot long and weigh between 10 and 35 pounds. They have a rugged, bumpy shell when they're young, which gets smoother as they get older, and a long tail that looks almost reptilian. Then you have their bigger, more intimidating cousin, the alligator snapping turtle. These are the giants of the freshwater turtle world, and they look the part. Found mainly in the rivers and swamps of the southeastern United States, these turtles are truly massive. A large male can weigh over 200 pounds and have a shell that's more than 2 feet long. Their appearance is even more prehistoric than the common snappers. They have a massive head, a thick shell with 3 prominent ridges or keels that look like tiny mountains, and a powerfully hooked beak that looks like it could crush just about anything. They are truly a sight to behold. One of the coolest differences between them is how they hunt. The common snapping turtle is more of an active hunter, searching the bottom of the pond for fish, frogs, and other small animals. But the alligator snapping turtle is a master of ambush. It has a special tool that no other turtle has, a small, pink, worm-like lure on the tip of its tongue. The turtle will sit perfectly still on the riverbed with its mouth wide open, wiggling that little lure. A curious fish will swim in for what it thinks is an easy meal, and then, snap! The turtle's jaws slam shut. It's an amazing and highly effective hunting strategy. Despite their differences in size, appearance, and hunting style, both species share that famous snapping ability and a need for respect. They are both vital to their ecosystems, acting as nature's cleanup crew by eating dead or decaying animals, which helps keep the water clean. Understanding that there are 2 main types helps us appreciate the diversity within this incredible family of turtles. Each is uniquely adapted to its environment, a perfect example of nature's ingenuity. Whether it's a common snapper in a local pond or a giant alligator snapper in a southern river, they are both magnificent creatures with an important story to tell. Let's take a closer look at what makes a snapping turtle look so intimidating. It all starts with their shell, which is their primary form of armor. The top part of the shell, called the carapace, is strong and often covered in algae, making it a perfect camouflage against the muddy bottom of a pond or river. For the alligator snapper, this carapace has those three big spiky ridges, making it look like a piece of living armored rock. The common snapper's shell is a bit more subdued but still incredibly tough. This shell protects them from predators from above, like raccoons or herons, giving them a solid defense against many threats they might face in their daily lives. Now flip a snapping turtle over, don't actually do this, and you'll see something very different from other turtles. The bottom part of the shell is called the plastron, and in most turtles, it's a large solid plate that covers their entire underside. This allows them to pull their head, legs, and tail completely inside for protection. But a snapping turtle's plastron is surprisingly small. It's shaped a bit like a cross and leaves large parts of its fleshy legs and long tail exposed and vulnerable. This is a crucial detail. Because they can't fully retract into their shell like a box turtle, they can't rely on hiding to stay safe. This small plastron is the key to understanding their behavior. When a snapping turtle is on land, it is out of its element and feels incredibly exposed. It can't swim away quickly, and its armor doesn't provide complete coverage. Imagine being a slow-moving animal, unable to hide, with your legs and soft parts unprotected. You would need a different way to defend yourself, right? This is where their famous bite comes into play. Their powerful jaws and sharp beak are not just for hunting, they are their primary defensive weapon, a powerful deterrent to tell any potential predator, "Stay away from me, I am not an easy meal." Their head and neck are also built for this purpose. A snapping turtle has an incredibly long and flexible neck that can shoot out with lightning speed. They can reach all the way back to their hind legs and even a little bit up over their own shell. This means just because you are behind the turtle, it doesn't mean you are safe from its bite. This impressive range of motion, combined with the power of their jaws, makes their snap an incredibly effective defense mechanism. It's a system that has been perfected over millions of years to make up for what they lack in protective armor on their underside. So we've established that snapping turtles have a powerful bite. People often wonder just how strong it is. While myths claim they can bite through a steel bar, the reality is a bit different but still impressive. The bite force of a common snapping turtle is often compared to the bite of a human, but it's concentrated in a sharp, bony beak that can easily break skin and even bone. Alligator snapping turtles are in another league with a bite force strong enough to amputate a finger cleanly. However, the most dangerous part isn't the pressure itself, but the speed of the snap and the sharp edges of their beak, which act like shears. But here is the most important thing to remember: snapping turtles are not aggressive. They don't seek out fights, and they don't hunt for things on land. In the water, they are actually quite calm. If you encounter one while swimming, its first instinct will almost always be to swim away from you and hide. They feel safe and secure in the water where they are faster and more agile. The aggressive behavior people talk about almost always happens when the turtle is on land, often when it's a female looking for a safe place to lay her eggs or when they are forced to cross a road to get to another body of water. Think about it from the turtle's perspective. You've left the safety of your home, you're slow and clumsy on land, and your underside is exposed. Suddenly a giant creature, a human or a dog, approaches you. You can't run, you can't hide, so what do? You use the one tool you have to make that potential threat back off. You snap. It's a defensive warning that says, don't come any closer. They aren't being mean or grumpy, they are terrified and are simply protecting themselves in the only way they know how. Their snapping is a sign of fear, not aggression. This is why it's so important to give them space. A snapping turtle that is hissing and snapping is a stressed and frightened animal. It's not looking for a fight, it's desperately trying to avoid one. By understanding that their powerful bite is a last resort for self-defense, we can change how we see them. They are not pond monsters to be feared, but vulnerable animals that deserve our compassion and our respect. Their impressive defensive display is a cry for help and a plea to be left alone, a behavior born from a need to survive when they are at their most defenseless. Snapping turtles play a huge role in keeping our aquatic ecosystems healthy. As omnivores, they eat a wide variety of things, including plants, fish, frogs, and insects. More importantly, they are nature's recyclers. They act as scavengers, cleaning up dead and decaying animals from the bottom of lakes and rivers. This service is incredibly important because it helps prevent the spread of disease and keeps the water clean for all the other animals, and for us. By removing sick or weak animals, they also help maintain strong, healthy populations of fish and other wildlife. They are a keystone species, meaning their presence has a major positive effect on their entire environment. Because they are so important, we have a responsibility to help protect them. One of the biggest dangers they face is crossing roads, especially during nesting season in the late spring and early summer. If you see a snapping turtle on the road and it's safe for you to help, you can, but never ever pick one up by the tail. This can seriously injure their spine. The safest way to help is to gently nudge it from behind with a blunt object, like a car mat, or to carefully slide a flat shovel or board under it to move it across the road in the direction it was heading. Always prioritize your own safety first. The best way to coexist with these incredible animals is to practice respect and admire them from a distance. If you see one in the wild, don't approach it, poke it, or try to feed it. Just observe it quietly, and appreciate seeing such a magnificent prehistoric creature in its natural habitat. Teach your children and friends that these turtles are not monsters, but shy animals that just want to be left alone. By fostering an attitude of respect instead of fear, we can ensure that these ancient warriors continue to thrive in our waterways for generations to come, continuing their important work as nature's cleanup crew. In the end, snapping turtles are a perfect example of how looks can be deceiving. Their fearsome appearance and powerful bite are not signs of a mean spirit, but rather brilliant adaptations for survival. They snap because they are vulnerable, not because they are vicious. By understanding the real reason behind their snap, their small protective plastron, we can replace fear with fascination. Let's give these ancient survivors the space and respect they deserve, ensuring they can continue to play their vital role in our world. They are a true testament to the power and beauty of nature, a wild connection to the past that we are lucky to have among us.